What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. This is a smallish stack of dollar books I picked up at Heroes Realm. It's a shop in Lexington, Kentucky. I went there about 3 weeks ago. I go there. I've been going there about twice a year now, it seems. I think the last time I went was around November of last year, I think. So, 10 months, I guess. But they've got a ton of dollar books. If you're ever in the Lexington area, definitely check them out. They've probably got 30 or 40 long boxes of dollar books. They're all alphabetized. Not within, they're alphabetized by letter, so all the A's are in one section, all the B's. It's not that alphabetized within the sections for the letters, but at least they've got them broken up like that, so that helps. Skip over all the stuff you don't want. I skip over a lot of the Superman stuff, a lot of the Justice League, I guess a lot of the DC stuff, now that I think about it. And then obviously if you don't want to skip over anything, you don't have to, but it takes a while to get through all of them. I was down there for 3 or 4 hours, I think, and I was not able to get through all of their boxes, but I got through most of them, so came in with a pretty good stack like I always do, so let's get rolling. This first book is Ant number 5. This is from the early 2000s. I have no idea what this is about or anything about the artist. My dog just started playing with a toy over there, so you're going to hear some squeaking. So anyway, this is a homage to Spider-Man number 1, the Todd McFarlane cover. It's pretty funny too, because down there in the signature block it says Gully ? So on McFarlane's signatures, when he was doing Spider-Man, he would put a number down there which corresponded with the number of spiders on the cover. And obviously you can see on this one there's just a bajillion spiders on there, so I guess whoever did the cover did not want to take the time to count them, which is understandable. But just that cover caught my eye. I don't pick up all the Spider-Man 1 homages, but ones that catch my eye more than others, I'll pick it up, especially for cheap. So this one I grabbed. I looked online. They go for about $20 online, I think, so I'll probably just keep this one in my collection, though I like it. I guess Eric Larson's doing a version of Ant now, too. I'm not sure if he created it. He had nothing to do with this book, I don't think. I looked in the inside. Now that I say that, let me see. Rosa Parks, dedicated to the memory. Yeah, Mario Gully is the writer and artist, I guess. And that's his signature down there, too, so Gully. So I guess he was the creative force behind this first volume, but like I said, Eric Larson's doing a volume now, so check it out if you want. Let's see, next one, we got Critter number 3. This is another one I had no idea what it's about. The cover just caught my eye, and it's a retailer incentive Aspen book. This was from the early 2000s, I guess. The artist I'd never heard of. I looked up. The artist is Nee Rufino, so I'm not sure. Never heard of them before. Not sure what they do, if they're still doing books, but I just thought this was a cool cover. This was in the C's, so this was early on in the digging, so I just kind of wanted to get my stack going. So I grabbed this one just because it was a cool looking cover. And the interior art was pretty cool too. I checked that out, so I may pick up this series. I'm not sure how long it went, but I don't think it ran too long. Next was a really cool find, the Daikatana. So this is the book based on the video game created by John Romero, who co-founded id Studios, him and John Carmack. They created Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Quake, all those first-person shooters from the late 80s and early 90s. It kind of, I guess, created that genre. And so when John Romero left id Studios, he formed his own company, and I think that was called Ion Storm. You can see that. And then this Daikatana, this was the first game that came out of that studio, and this is a comic book. I don't know if it's a prequel or adaptation or what, but I never played the game, but I recognized the name when I saw it, because I read a book. It's called Masters of Doom. It was about the formation of id Software and kind of those early days. It was a really good book. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, like the history of video games, things like that, it's definitely worth a read. So this was the Daikatana was in my head from that book. So when I came upon it, I stopped and looked at it, and then you can also see the cover caught my eye too, because it's Mark Silvestri doing the cover, and the Top Cow, his image imprint, published it as well. I'm checking the inside. I don't think Silvestri did any of the pencil work on the inside. No, I don't recognize any of the other artists. But John Romero did the story, and then Mark Silvestri did the cover. So this is really beat up. You can see the spine is all jacked. Big crease in the corner there. The edges are pretty worn. You can't tell, but the back's pretty jacked up too. But it's kind of a cool piece of history. These go, there was a listing for like 150 on eBay. I don't think it had sold. I didn't see any, I don't remember. I looked these up when I got home a couple weeks ago, so I can't remember if there were any sold copies recently. But there's one expensive copy listed, but like I said, this one's beat up, and this is just kind of a cool artifact from history, so I'm just going to keep that one in my personal collection. Sticking with the video game books, you got Dark Stalkers and Night Warriors number 2A. This is more recent Dark Stalkers book. Yeah, I'm not sure what volume this is, but this is just a fun video game. I remember playing one of those fighting games, so anytime I'll find these for cheap, I'll pick them up. And next, I found a couple of DV8 number 1s. So I guess they did 8 different, well, maybe 7 different covers for number 1, because they did one for each of the 7 Deadly Sins. I picked up Greed a few months ago. That was a J. Scott Campbell cover. And this is Lust. This is a Kevin Nolan cover. And I thought it was funny. He's got his DV8 underwear on, which is the title of the book, and also a play on the, weren't there a brand of underwear called BVDs, I think. So I thought that was pretty funny. And I got another version of number 1 here, another cover. This is Envy. The artist on that is, who is that? Michael Lopez. I haven't heard of him, but it's a pretty cool cover. And then the best one is Pride, and this is a Dave Stevens cover. So this is, I don't think these really go for anything. The Dave Stevens one probably can get like 10 or 15 bucks. But I'm going to try to get all these just because I think it's kind of a cool run, I guess, the 7 Deadly Sins. I'm not sure what Sloth or Gluttony look like. These all have pretty sexy lady covers, so no telling what those look like, but it'll be interesting, I'm sure. Oh, look at that transition. Speaking of sexy ladies, Embrace number 1. Yes, that's Carmen Electra on the cover. Nothing says 90s quite like Carmen Electra being a vampire stripper, which I think she is in this book. I don't know if it's based on Carmen Electra and her nightlife that she doesn't like to talk about, but the book, I thumbed through it, they're either strippers or a rock band or a combination of the two, and they are vampires as well. So the character looks nothing like Carmen Electra. She's a brunette, I guess, so that's something, but that's all there is of Carmen Electra in the book. She's on the cover there, and then I think she's on the inside cover as well. So I thought that was pretty funny. I had no idea this book existed, but it's definitely a sign of the times in those mid-90s when Carmen Electra was everywhere, so I had to pick that one up. Next, I got Old Guard number 2. I actually found Old Guard number 1 at this place the last time I went in November, which was cool. I really liked the movie they did on Netflix, and Greg Rucka is one of my favorite writers, so these are pretty cheap. You can find all of them. Usually you can find all of them but number 1 in the dollar bins. Obviously I found number 1 in the dollar bin, so that was cool. And that one goes, I mean, it's not super expensive, like $5 to $10. But I'm going to put this this first run together because you can find them all for pretty cheap, so I was happy about that. Next, just kind of a fun book, another just cover to grab my eye, Otis Goes Hollywood. Just a fun cartoon painted cover with by Bob Fingerman, I think is the artist. The thumb through this one is kind of goofy. Obviously, you can tell by the cover. It's more of an adult-themed book. This guy's like a meat packer slash butcher, I guess, in New York, and then he goes to Hollywood with his wife there, and his wife ends up having an affair with Otis's brother, and then shenanigans ensue after that. So, pretty goofy, but the cover looked fun, so that's why I grabbed it. I got Reborn number 5 here. This is the 6-issue miniseries by Mark Miller and Greg Capullo. I'm just going to start picking these up. Said a couple videos ago, anything Mark Miller does I seem to enjoy, so I'm going to start picking up as much of his stuff, especially the indie stuff, as I can. It's not too expensive, so I found number 5. Got some awesome comics here from Rob Liefeld. This first one is Rejects. I think this is the preview. It's weird because these awesome comics was a Reject special preview, yeah. So most of these awesome comics are flip books. So this is Coven number 4, and then if you flip it over, then it's Reject special preview of this demon lady. It looks like she's taking a dump on a throne of skulls and stuff, so maybe she pooped those out. I imagine that hurts. But so if these are something you're interested in, I think Liefeld did the interior art as well. Yeah, he did the pencils. So I guess you get the big fuzzy boots. Or they look like fuzzy boots in the inside. They look like armor on there, so whatever. Pretty funny. And then let's see. I got another awesome one. I guess this is, I think this is just the same thing. Oh no, it's another. See, it's a special Reject special preview, but then it starts off differently. So maybe it's just the origin of this guy, and that one's the origin of Demon Poop Lady. And again, this one is a flip book, so this is Coven number 3 on this side, and then the Reject special preview on that. A lot of these books, I guess they did the previews for. Image did that in the early days too, not so much anymore, but so if you're ever looking and you see some of these awesome books, flip them over and see if there's anything interesting on the back side. And then one more, we've got Awesome Adventures number 1. Again, this was just a cover by, and then the story is by Alan Moore. Well, that's weird. It says Awesome Adventures Youngblood, created by Rob Liefeld. So maybe these are like Youngblood characters that are like in solo series. I don't know. But it was an Alan Moore story, so that was pretty cool. I like the cover, so it was only $1. Why not? Got some Amalgam goodness here. This is Speed Demon. This is the imprint when Marvel and DC mashed up some of their characters. So this is Ghost Rider and Flash, I would imagine. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but they're goofy, fun stories, so I'm sure this one follows suit appropriately. Found a cool collected edition of Sojourn, this Greg Land series that I really like from CrossGen. This is it collects the preview issue, or the 0 issue, and the first issue, so it's 64 pages. Cover price was $4, so I was happy to find that for $1. I think I only need like 2 or 3 more issues. There's about a 32, 33 issue run for Sojourn, so I was really happy to find that. And then speaking of Greg Land, got Storm Quest number 1. This is just early Greg Land art. He does the cover and he does the pencils on the inside as well, so he's one of my favorites, so I was happy to find that. This has been on my list for a while. Again, this doesn't go for anything. It's just early creator work that I like. Speaking of which, I found a couple more issues from Suspira. Just cool Mike Okamoto artwork. He does the painted style that I like a lot. The interiors are like that as well. So this was a 4-issue miniseries, which I thought might have something to do with Lady Death because it was published by Chaos Comics, but I don't think it is. I found number 1 a while ago, and then I found numbers 3 and 4, and it only went for 4 issues, so I need number 2, and then I'll read it and check it out. But just really, really cool artwork. So that's why I picked those up. Just a couple more here. Got Lara Croft Tomb Raider Arabian Nights #1. I've never seen this before. Just liked the cover, thought it looked interesting. Not sure how long this series ran or anything, or if this was just a one-shot, but it looked pretty fun, so snagged it. Got Tron #1. This came out well after the first movie. Let's see, it was 2006. So Legacy, the second Tron movie, was 2009, I believe. So this was kind of a weird point in time for the comic to come out. But I liked the original movie. I liked Legacy a lot too. So I grabbed this. And then some more video game stuff. Got Metal Gear Solid #1. I do not like the Metal Gear games at all. I am not a big stealth game fan. I do not have the patience for it. But I know these Metal Gear Solid books go for money, like $20 or $30 or something. So I picked them up for $1, and I fully intend to sell them. And the Ashley Wood art is kind of cool. I do like that. And this is #3. I really like this cover, actually. I think that's Raiden. Is that his name? I don't know. I know Solid Snake-oo and Metal Gear, but that's about all I know from the Metal Gear. And then you go around walking around in a box sometimes to stay hidden. And then lastly, I got 2 copies of this Spring #2. This is just apparently a hard to find Jeff DeCall cover, who I'm not a big fan of his art. I just grabbed these because I know they go for $30 or $40 a piece, so I just got these to sell. So if I can sell these and those Metal Gear books, then that'll more than pay for the lot. So I was just happy to find those. So that is going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the haul, and I will talk to you soon. Later.